Welcome to the part 3 on this tutorial series. On this video we will see how to paint square patterns on the armor, the jaw protector, a glow effect with a small OSL, and all the small details on the armor. First, some white on these two small details on the armor. Then I'm going to darken the white with Agrax Earthshade. I will apply it thinly, but almost everywhere on the white surfaces. I'm going to apply it a second time and only in the areas that I think it has to be a little bit darker. Now for the square pattern, I start with a lead belcher undercoat, and I start painting the white squares first. Although you do need to be careful when you draw the squares, you don't need to have them totally perfect at this stage. We're going to have many chances to fix small mistakes when we go to the black squares. As soon as it's dry, I'm going to paint the second layer of this white. Now we proceed to paint the black squares. For this step, I do recommend that you use a small brush that you can control really well where the paint goes. We can use the black paint to cover the small mistakes we made when we drew the white squares. I'm covering the rest of the piece in black just because this is how it is illustrated in the book. Next, to paint the white squares on the armor, I'm going to use a mix of white and dark Reaper. I need this to be a very white color but not that light, because this is going to have certain level of transparency, as if this was actual paint that was used on actual armor. For this is that we need to play a little bit with this illusion of transparency. Next, I'm going to apply pure white on the squares, but not in the totality of the surface of each square. Instead, on a big majority. I want to create the illusion that this paint is fading away. Now I'm going to use heavy charcoal to tidy up the edges of the squares. Now I'm going to darken this white with Agrax Earthshade. Now that it is dry, I'm going to go back to white to play the edge highlights of each square. Just as I did before with the other squares, I'm going to also paint Agrax Earthshade on the square patterns in the armor. Next we will paint a blue glowy effect. For this we will start by painting pure white. We need to apply pure white on the surface that is generating the light. Then I'm going to apply a very thin down Luthern blue around the blue surfaces. When you paint this color on top of a white undercoat, it's going to look really intense. This is what we take advantage of to make a glowing effect. Next we're going to start with Calidor Sky. This blue is going to be applied on the surrounding elements close to the previous blue. Basically, this is the blue that we're going to be using, that simulates the color that is changing when it's being hit by the blue light. I'm going to go back to white and apply it carefully only in the core parts that are emitting the light. Now I'm going to start painting the OSL effect on the skin of the orc and on the surrounding areas that are being hit by the blue light. As mentioned before, the color for this is going to be Calidor Sky. The jaw is very close to the light source, so the blue is really intense. Once that we place the armor piece back on its place, you start to see how the blue on the jaw makes a lot more sense. Now I'm just missing these big punk looking pieces, and they are going to be blue just like the rest of the blue elements. And it's going to start with Macrage blue. Then in the more exposed areas we're going to paint Calgar blue. This is applied as a medium highlight. Finally, for the edges and the points, we're going to apply Fenrisian Grey. And there you go, the square pattern was done and the glowing effect was done. We finally finished this jaw piece, and we can move on to the last and probably the most interesting step, which is the big OSL from a lava source paste on the base of the model. In the back of the model there is another small blue glowing element, and I painted it using exactly the same method. If you made it this far, you probably already hit the like and subscribe button, but if you haven't, I encourage you to please do it. My name is Sanji, and I'll see you in the next and final part of this tutorial series.